Bing, bang, boom. And we are in it to win it, friend.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hi.
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 Hey, guys. I miss you so much. Oh, my God. What have you been doing?
You know, just watching the debate.
Oh, my God. What did you think?
I thought that Donald Trump looked so cute.
Girl. Cute. His piece was falling off his head.
It was like on purpose.
Mm.
You wouldn't get it.
Oh, I wouldn't get it.
You wouldn't like get it.
That's where you're gonna go?
I went there.
You're gonna go there?
You know where you should go?
Where should I go?
To hell.
Straight to hell.
You could go to hell.
All right, man. We need to just crack these brews open,
Please.
immediately.
I'm quite thirsty.
I'm very thirsty. So let's just get right into this. You guys know what we have to do, okay? We have to do it. We got to get into these Tactical Brewing Co. beers. What we did, if you watched last week's episode, we started off with a couple of their flagship beers, the base lager, and actually it's still on the table.
Yeah.
The
brunchy midnight brunchy something.
as the bottle's right there.
Yeah. There you go.
Late night brunchy call.
That's the one.
And
Imperial Stout.
they scored pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to tell you the score. Go back and watch last week's episode. But we felt like, fuck it. Let's do all of them. Let's do all four that were given us. So we spaced them out. So this week we're doing these two beers right here.
These two beers right here.
And without further ado, I throw to you, good sir.
Oh, thank you so much. I will only intro the first one right now.
Okay.
And we'll get the second one later. You'll just have to stick around. We have the Tactical Brewing Co. Pfefe Hefe.
Hefe.
It's a 5.1% German style Hefeweizen. Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
All right. My name is Marco Dupa, and that guy right there is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Law and Order.
And this is episode 282 of the One Beer and Podcast. Crack it.
Oh, yeah. Give me a cup.
To be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Good job.
Thank you.
Getting good at that. I'm trying.
All right.
All right. Clink. That's right. This is the One Beer and Podcast. The podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. Two brews on this one. Man, oh man.
Yeah.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't go down this road. Boy, howdy.
Yeah.
We had a night last night.
Oh, what a night.
Oh, what a night. We record these episodes on Wednesdays usually. Sometimes there's a delay, but most of the time on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And if you are living in the United States...
Sorry.
You will have tuned into the most consequential debate in American history. The debate between Donald Trump and Vice President Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been something that's been brewing. Come on. Yeah.
Okay.
For a while.
Yeah.
And everybody's been looking forward to it. You know, the mudslinging in the media and all of the things that Trump has been saying about, well, not just Trump. You talk to any right-leaning person, and the story is that Joe Biden can't even stand up on his own. It's basically Weekend at Bernie's whenever he's out in public. And
human puppet man.
Dude, I was watching the analysis, like I guess the pregame, because they had Chris Christie. Chris Christie was part of Trump's debate prep, if you can call it that.
Right.
And so he was there.
They just gave him some hamburgers. Is that what it was?
That's it. Man, I can't understand how that guy is still so goddamn fat. I'm fat shaming. I don't care. He's massive.
Do you not think he still eats a bunch of hamburgers and has his Diet Cokes?
I just think that a guy who wants to maybe be the are we talking about Trump or Christie?
Why not both?
Anyway,
I was talking about Trump. It's now clear to me you're talking about Chris Christie. Yeah. In which case, yes, he is also a very large man.
You know what? Fuck it. All right. I won't talk about their weight, but we both know. We all know they're not skinny fellows. I mean, we're two bears here. So
I was gonna say we go to some of the same places,
yeah.
so yeah, takes one to know one.
Yeah, it's the garage calling the house fat.
Yes.
Yeah, or the garage calling the house a building. I don't know.
Are we connected to Chris Christie?
Somehow.
Okay.
You know, there was a moment in time where I was like, if I had to go Republican, maybe him.
You date Chris Christie?
There was a moment where
he's your waifu?
He was talking about I can't remember. I think it was like something. There was a moment where he had just conducted himself in a way that I was like, finally, there's a guy on that side that I'm like, I could see it.
For a very long time, he seemed no nonsense.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he seemed what I think a lot of people view Trump as now. Mm-hmm. A says it how it is kind of guy, you know? But,
sorry, still messing with the levels. Yeah, so anyway, Chris Christie was there, part of the debate prep. It was I think ABC, maybe a collaboration. No, it was ABC. Chris Stephanopoulos. Mm-hmm. Then it had a bunch of other political analysts and whatnot, right? Yeah. And then they were asking everybody's like opinion on how they think it's gonna go. And what do they think, you know, this person needs to do to win? What will it mean? Blah, blah, blah. And they bring in Donald Trump Jr. And I mean, it's just like, dude, and he was part of, they brought him in like the first like 15 minutes of it. Immediately, I was just like, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to watch this. If that's the tone of it, I don't know if I'm.
He came in.
Bro,
well, yeah.
Bro, There's just a couple of people that you see on TV where you just go, I don't know, I'm not a violent person, but if I saw him out, I might take a swing at him.
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr. is one of them.
Yep.
Tucker Carlson is at the top of my list. If I saw him at a grocery store, I might just catch a charge. I might just take a swing at him. Just to say that I did. I don't know.
So much for the peaceful left.
There's no decorum. Oh, you want decorum? You want decorum? At this point?
I was expecting better from you, Marco.
Oh, man. I can't believe that the people come out and said that about Biden after the fact. But anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So he was on there spouting off, Donald or Joe Biden. Yeah, he spends all his time. That's all he does is prep for the debate. He doesn't even, he's not even campaigning. He doesn't even leave the house. Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I can't do this. I want to fight this person. Anyway, so that was like the first 5 minutes of the thing.
Yeah,
that's the kind of vibe that you're going into it with. What was it like for you, just sitting here? Like, where did you? Because I watched it on YouTube.
I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were probably like me, scrolling through other things on YouTube, then saw the thing and was like, I guess this is how I'm going to end my night.
I was on my way back from my parents' house. I had dinner over there, and I realized the time when I was on the road, and I went, hold on a second, pulled it up on YouTube, started playing it through my Bluetooth.
Oh, while you were driving?
As I was driving. And but like that was basically, I got back home after the intros were done.
Yeah.
And so I started watching like immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about it a little bit, and he's like, I just really hope that we get a lot of talk about policy. The only thing I want them to avoid tonight is just it becoming this mudslinging, name calling match. And I went, good luck.
Oh, your sweet father.
And
sweet man.
How wrong could he have been?
Well, I mean, if he had just picked the under, then he would be a millionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost immediate.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess at this point we shouldn't be surprised, but it's still shocking.
Yeah,
it's still shocking.
It was. It's like that meme that's like, our expectations were low, but damn.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting it to go down in a way similar to that, but seeing how bad it ended up in reality was shocking. It didn't feel real at times. It was embarrassing.
Yeah.
I felt embarrassed, which is not how I expected to feel coming out of it. Like I was expecting to be charged up and angry one way or the other, or maybe disappointed in the candidates, but I was like, I think the biggest feeling I came out of the night with was a mix of shock and embarrassment. Yeah. I think those are the two key things that I came away from, and it's mostly based on the way that the entire thing was conducted.
Yeah.
What's his name? The moderator, Chris Wallace. He tried his best, but it still wasn't very good.
No.
And I don't know. It was a super frustrating watch.
You gotta start with Chris Wallace, and yeah, you're right. It was an uphill battle for him from the jump, but let's just be honest. He was not equipped, dude.
No,
he just wasn't equipped.
And he would not take. Trump would not take no for an answer.
Yeah.
And he just steamrolled over Chris Wallace multiple times.
Yeah.
And they make a little joke about it. Oh, you're being a little extra aggressive here, sir. I want to just get to the question here. It's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Cut his mic. Just cut his mic.
Right.
Just cut it. Just cut
and
the
even
mic.
if you don't have, people are like, well, what could he have done? I mean, have a fucking backbone, dude.
Yeah.
We're here. The president is not. No one in this country is above another person when it comes to showing respect.
Well,
at least it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And man to man, before this went down, we agreed on rules. Mm-hmm. This is how this is going to go. You get 2 minutes. Then after that person rebuttals with their 2 minutes, then you get open floor to say whatever the fuck you want. Yep. And that should have been a fucking dream for him to just rattle off whatever he wanted. You agree to these rules. Chris Wallace needed to just stand up and go, we're not doing this, okay? I'm the moderator. You're going to answer my question. Then once your 2 minutes is up, we're moving on. That's it. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not letting you take control of this. This is a debate. This is for the American people. We want answers. Mm-hmm. I don't care about your feelings towards each other. We need answers.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He just sat there. I tweeted
Sir.
that he could have just gone to the bathroom. It wouldn't have made a difference. Nobody would have known.
Yeah.
And then he came back. He could just come back, grab his mic later, and be like, "Excuse me, Mr.
We're moving on to the second part,
Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. President,
mm-hmm.
Mr. President, Mr. President, stop yelling at me! Oh my god, I'm just trying to be a moderator.
Please, somebody help!
Somebody help me!" So I think a lot of the blame falls at the feet of the way that it was structured.
Yeah.
It is a Looney Tunes concept to say You get 2 minutes to answer my question, and then open floor to say whatever you want after the fact. Then we'll move on to the next subject.
Right.
That's a Looney Tunes idea.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
I guess that's just the format.
That's not the format. That's
not?
new.
That's new? Okay.
There was
It felt new.
Last debate, there was not open floor to say whatever you want afterward.
Yeah.
You get. I don't remember how long the time was, but after the rebuttal, you had one more chance to answer what that person said, and then we move on.
Yeah.
There was no open floor.
Just freestyle.
There was one moment where he asked one question, and it was like, you can either answer my question or you can kind of talk about whatever you want. And I was just banging my head against the wall like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And the thing is, the reason that Chris Wallace takes a lot of blame for this is because they asked him to do this and he set this up. This was his idea. These questions were his. These weren't questions that he said it at the top of the show. Like, I came up with these questions.
Nobody has them before.
Yeah. So this was his thing. So the fact that they spent, I don't know, the allotted 2 minutes on his taxes.
Yeah.
Even though that was the biggest story going into this, is insane. The fact, like, I don't want to ramble because there needs to be some kind of structure here.
Yeah.
But
we're getting very much into the actual format of the debate.
Yeah. So that was the first problem, was the format of the debates.
Yeah.
Chris Wallace was another problem.
Yeah.
And then we get to
the boys themselves.
Yeah.
It was exactly what I expected, and yet still shocking.
Yeah.
My initial knee-jerk reaction to this entire thing, and I want to hear yours too, is that, I came in hopeful. I really did for the first time in a while. I was like, I felt a tide shifting in the week coming up to the debates. I felt like this surge of, kind of the chickens are coming home to roost for a lot of Trump's lies. And I think I highly underestimated how loud and distracting he could possibly be.
Yeah.
Because it no longer, like, he essentially became the kryptonite to what Biden was trying to be, which is, a statesman and respectful and thoughtful and, just kind of the politician we know from the before times, and Trump already beat that kind of candidate.
Right.
And I felt like he came in with that same exact energy. And now it shifted from time to time where he said, shut up or whatever.
Yeah.
But like for the vast majority of the time, I just felt like Biden was kind of playing into Trump's hand of seeming better and above it all, which is exactly what a lot of conservatives, I feel, from what I've heard and seen, find so unappealing about the left.
Yeah.
Is that they think they're better than us.
Yeah.
And, my heart kind of sunk when I realized how much more energetic and aggressive Trump was coming off throughout the entire thing, because I feel like a lot of his supporters aren't really, they don't care so much about, the words being said, but more of the energy being exuded.
Yeah.
So, Trump was giving off this big bully kind of energy, and Biden was kind of the more quiet and thoughtful person. And I think that just that energy read as weakness to a lot of people who were already like on the fence or anti-Biden. So that's my only concern with it. Now, in the day after the debate, it seems like there's a lot of good that's come out of Biden's sound clips, and I feel like maybe he's playing the long game, And
Yeah.
in being above it all, we're given a bunch of clips for people who didn't see it in the actual, live event that clean up really nice. And, he had some substance to what he was saying as opposed to, trying to dog the other presidents or the other nominees' kids or something,
Yeah.
So I think that will work out well for him. But, overall, it was embarrassing for I don't care what side you're on. It was just like two grown men bickering at each other, talking over each other, having no respect for each other. And I know that plays in perfectly for a lot of Trump supporters, which is unfortunate. That's not even talking about the fact that he physically was unable to denounce white supremacy.
Yeah.
Which was maybe the biggest thing to come out of the debate.
That's definitely the biggest takeaway that most people had.
And, besides that, the other big shocker was at the very end of the debate where he asked people to monitor the polling stations, which is literally illegal.
Yeah.
So, just him sowing doubt in the election process again was, really, really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And scary.
Yeah.
So,
they pretty much, he did everything that he had been doing in the lead up to it. Refusing to denounce white supremacy, sowing doubt in the electoral process. And like you said, like it's still, it's not surprising, but it's still shocking to know that like the guy, the calm statesman is not the president.
No.
It's the insane person on the other side. It's the bull in the china shop that's like losing his mind.
Right.
I think he said so many things at such a clip that it's hard to even go one by one on all the things that he said that have already either been rebutted or denounced or have been flat out proven to be lies.
Yeah.
That he was just saying them a mile a minute. Every talking point. I think the biggest obstacle for Joe Biden, and I hate to fall into this trap, but a lot of the right-wing talking points are not just that the left thinks that they are better than the right, but also that for Joe Biden specifically, there's a lot of people who truly believe that he doesn't have all of his cognitive abilities.
Right.
That is a thing that it's not just. There's people who are like, all right, well, let's not lend any credence to that. That's kind of ridiculous. But there are actual people out there who are like, there's something wrong with him mentally. Yeah. He's not all the way there. He's not fit to serve this country.
Right.
So I think that he seemed rattled in some moments. And I think that he seemed, I won't say nervous, but just that he kind of didn't have answers.
He came off frazzled a lot of the times. And it's understandable given the fact that you have this guy yelling in your ear as you're trying to form some kind of, cognitive, coherent answer. But you got to be better than that.
Yeah, you do. But I will say that I think a positive takeaway for Joe Biden is that, in my opinion, he didn't come off as a guy who, didn't know what room he was in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was. I think when you go back and watch that, you can say what you want about the temperament of both candidates, but I think it's ridiculous now at this point to go into it thinking he's not all the way there.
Right.
Just because he stumbled on some words, there was no moment where I was like, what's happening right now? Like
he's losing it.
Yeah, it's just like so, and I hate that that's even a thing.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, it is.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a net positive for him that
he showed up.
Yeah, and we can kind of hopefully do away with that as a talking point.
We can't.
Yeah,
No,
probably not.
No, because I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but literally the day of the debate, there was that rumor that came out that he refuses to have his ear checked for an earpiece and be drug tested.
Yeah,
which was complete crap.
At least even Fox News is on board with like denouncing that and making sure that like don't spread these lies and things like that.
But they covered it is the problem, and it came out of a lie.
Yeah.
Came out of a complete lie, and then it became a meme, and then from a meme, the major news networks covered it.
Yeah.
So the fact that that can happen this day and age is frightening.
But on the inverse, I think what you were saying is actually a bigger deal than people realize. No one's going to go back and watch these debates. What they're going to do is look at the internet clips. They're
Right.
going to go on Twitter and they're going to look at the highlights, right? Joe Biden has a lot of highlights from him. If you take the best moments from the debate out of context, he looks like he mopped the floor with him.
Yeah.
If you watched it, you know that's a different story.
Right.
But if you're looking at the highlights, Donald Trump doesn't have any moment in the debate for 90 minutes. There's not one moment that you can take away and go, see, look what he did.
And it's because he was never challenged at any point. He was just rattling off his nonsense gobbledygook the entire time. Whereas I feel like in this debate, at least, Biden was forced to have answers.
Yeah.
Trump danced around every single question.
Yeah.
And made it all about attacking Biden.
Yeah.
And the radical left. Oh my God, the radical left.
Radical left.
They're under your pillows. Be careful, folks. They're coming for you.
And your money.
Right.
And your job.
So and your daughters. But yeah, that's I think the silver lining for this as a mostly liberal guy is that I feel like as disappointing as it was as a whole, I feel like you're right that there were I think higher highs with Biden, and out of context it looks better.
Yeah.
Now I'm excited for Kamala Harris to come in because I do have very high expectations for her performance against Mike Pence.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. We may be surprised. We don't know what's going to happen, but that one I feel like will be a pretty most likely will be a slam dunk. I don't want to, count anything out because who knows, but
I just don't. Mike Pence is the very personification of milquetoast.
Yeah, he's an empty shell of a man. And I don't mean to be mean about it, but I know of him, but I don't know that man.
Sorry, that wasn't very middle of the road.
What is he like?
I saw this man walking down the street. I'm sorry to this man. I do not know this man.
He's like, I feel like he's like a Men in Black agent.
Yeah.
Like you have seen him in fleeting glances, but I feel like nobody's ever stared at him for longer than 2 minutes.
You just see him pass through different doorways, and you're like, was that?
No.
He's not scheduled to be here, is he?
I don't know. He just walks around sometimes.
There's a bit in Parks and Rec where Ben goes to work in D.C. for some congressman, and the congressman, he's a super handsome guy. He walks in, shakes hands with everybody, seems really, really personable and nice and everything. And they're like, oh, my God, that's the guy, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes into his office, and he just sits there, and he just stares at the wall for like 5 hours.
Yep.
And so Ben and April, they're just like, how long has he been in there? And they're like, it's been like 5
It's like a robot.
And he's just... and that's...
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't... obviously they didn't know because Mike Pence wasn't like a prominent figure at the time, but that's Mike Pence.
Yeah. He walks into a closet and stands there for 5 hours a day until he's called.
They just open the door and he...
Yeah.
Time to be politician. So yeah, I mean,
Are we reading the Bible again?
if he shows up and thinks he's gonna just, you know, middle of the road himself through that debate,
Yeah.
she's gonna mop the floor.
We'll
with it.
see. I mean, I don't know. I am keeping my mind open to every single option here because I've been surprised before.
Well, and yeah, we don't know that much about him as a debater,
Right.
And so he could come in and fucking, I mean, I don't know, he could crush it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. All I kept thinking, though, dude, like halfway through it, all I kept thinking was Obama would have ate Trump alive.
Yeah.
He would have walked him. He would have taken him out back and just abused him.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I couldn't, and I know that we shouldn't be doing this now, but it's all I could think about was I miss you, Obama. He would have just.
Yeah. The clarity, the coherence, and the class. You know,
The charisma.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to take your eyes off of him. Trump would be yelling, and Obama, no, Don, no, we're not going to do that here.
We're not going to do that here.
Not here. Not tonight.
Not in this house.
Not in this house. This is Obama's house. And you just hear cheers from the non-existent crowd. You're just like, who's clapping?
Oh, well.
Yep. That's just what happens when I walk into a room. And so I'll say this as my closing statement.
Yeah.
I think that the debates last night were Trump's to lose. I think that Joe Biden, all he had to do was show up. And a lot of people said that. All he had to do was perform average.
Not have a meltdown.
Yeah. And I think that I don't even think he did that. I don't think that he performed well enough to have bolstered any confidence in anyone who was uncertain about him.
Yeah.
But I will say that he did well enough that he didn't have a complete meltdown.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed that the idea that he is a senile old man who's being walked out there to perform is ridiculous.
Right.
So he accomplished those two things. And so for him, I think that all he had to do was the bare minimum, and he did that.
Mm-hmm.
For Trump, I think that he needed to go in there, and I think he needed to show people that not only is Joe Biden a horrible choice, but that you are being misled by the media, and that I am good for this country. It may not seem like it to the left and to my detractors, but to middle America who supports me, you guys understand that what I'm doing, I'm leading this country to a better place.
Yeah.
He needed to do that, and he did not do that in the slightest.
No.
He didn't accomplish that. In my opinion, he did not accomplish that goal at all. He ruined what was, in my opinion, a golden opportunity to crush Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't think people understand how easy this should have been for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He could have gone in there. The white supremacy question is a softball. It's a softball.
It is one of the easiest things to do.
You don't even have to say any of these groups by name.
No.
No one even asked you to do that.
As a concept, I denounce white supremacy.
Yeah. Easy.
Boom.
Do you understand what would have happened if Chris Wallace asked that question and instead of Trump getting cagey and weird about it, he just goes, all white supremacists, all of them. I denounce it. Mm-hmm. Top to bottom. It's not what we're about.
Right. And then,
do you know how easy that would have been?
And look, let's add some sugar on top of that, okay? Because he always does. He always exaggerates. He always adds a little lie just to sprinkle it in because he knows he can. I have always denounced white supremacy.
Yeah, that's it. I always did it. I'm
from day one. People.
By the way, Joe didn't do this. By the way, I did this day one. Mm-hmm. I've been a champion of the black community. Day one.
Right.
I'm best for black people. Like easy.
Simple.
Easy
It's
money.
simple. It's
That's
so simple.
money on the table.
You don't even have to back it up because no one ever asks for receipts from Donald Trump.
No. He said plenty of things last night that he didn't have to back up.
Sure. Just say that. That's it.
Easy.
That's it.
Easy money.
Yep.
I think on that question alone, he could have won the debate.
Well, and the fact that he stumbled so hard on that and had to immediately pivot to Antifa.
Yeah.
Within the same sentence.
Yeah.
That alone galvanized the left more than anything that Biden said that night. More than anything that Biden said that night.
Yeah.
That the unification that was made because Trump can't do something as simple as say, I don't like racists, is enough for the left to go. And I would imagine moderates that care about racism to say, okay, this guy sucks.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah, I saw it all over my social media of like there was plenty of moderates who were like, I've voted Republican for years and I simply just can't vote for this person. I can't do it.
But then, light of day today, of course there are all these apologists saying, oh, he just misspoke and he didn't mean to stand by.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I truly do not believe that Donald Trump meant to tell racists to stand by and wait to attack people of color.
Right.
I don't believe that that's what he meant.
For the people who haven't seen the clip or didn't watch it live, he said, "Did the Proud Boys? The Proud Boys?"
He's like, which group? Which one do you want me to tell me? Which one? And they said the Proud Boys. They just threw that out as an example.
Right.
What about the Proud Boys?
Yeah.
And he says, I say to all of them, to the Proud Boys, to the Proud Boys, stand back, stand down, stand by. I think they were, him and Joe Biden were on him about it.
Yeah.
They were like, because they knew, Joe Biden knew this was a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
It's like, he has to confront this.
Right.
If he doesn't, we got him.
Yeah.
And they did. But
Yeah.
I truly do not believe that that's what he meant.
No.
The problem is given multiple opportunities to just be straight up. So here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he isn't racist. I'm saying that he didn't mean it in that moment. But he has been given, and he was given even after the debate, he was given multiple opportunity to just say, I don't understand why Republicans and why right-wing analysts are not sick of having to interpret everything that he says. It should not be, he's a grown-ass man who speaks English.
Yeah.
It should not be every time he says something, we have to go, well, he didn't mean that, and he's being sarcastic, and he didn't mean that, and blah, blah, blah. He's the president.
Right.
Stop joking. Stop being sarcastic. Stop saying sly remarks. Stop. Why do I have to interpret what he means by these things?
Yeah. Well, and then if you fast forward, 10 minutes, we're talking about the fact that racial training in police officers
that's racist.
is racist somehow.
Racial sensitivity training.
Yeah.
It's racist.
It's racist and it's radical.
Didn't elaborate.
Right.
Couldn't elaborate.
They asked him to, and he could not.
Couldn't do it.
So I agree with you, though. I think it's a complete conspiracy theory that, he's somehow this mastermind behind the Proud Boys and other white nationalist groups and stuff like that. But at the same time, I think that is proof that he is a racist. Yeah. And if not a racist, he at very least knows that a lot of his fans are.
I think that's what it is. I think he understands that he's the only way he even has a chance to win this election is to never ever alienate that side of his base. Right. So if he has to eat punches from the left and from moderates who say, "Why couldn't you just do this?" He's gonna just eat those punches. Yeah. That's it. Because they're not gonna lump him enough. They're not gonna lump him up enough that losing that base would. Right. Losing them and that's it. Fucking thing is, put a fork in it. It's over.
It's just so sad to me that somebody's base is racists.
I know, dude.
You know, like we've never had to deal with this before, not as openly, at least, not in our generation. So I don't know. It's it's depressing.
Here's the other thing. He keeps saying Joe Biden needs to denounce Antifa. How come he hasn't said anything about Antifa? First of all, the idea that Antifa is this organization that is, brought together by, I don't know, left-wing politics, and that Joe Biden has any connection to Antifa is ridiculous. It's an idea that any person can knock a building over and say, yeah, I'm anti-fascist, whatever, right? I don't even want to go down the road that is.
Right.
But the idea that Joe Biden, what Antifa members have come out in support of Joe Biden? None of them like Joe Biden.
Right.
They don't like Joe Biden. They just don't like Trump. None of them. I've not seen anyone who purports to be a person who is anti-fascist, not part of this Antifa group that only right-wing people say.
Yeah.
But anybody who purports to be even aligning with that doesn't like Joe Biden.
Right.
Joe Biden is as much a problem as Donald Trump is. He's a part of the system. He's status quo. He's a career politician. To them, he's almost as bad. He's just not a fascist. So that's the only difference. Yeah. So the idea that that it is a 1-to-1 comparison that Trump has to denounce the Proud Boys and Joe has to denounce Antifa. It's just not an equal comparison.
It's not, but that's the only way that Trump gets away with it.
Yeah.
Because
and that's the way to slip out of it, right? It's like, well, it's the whataboutism. It's like, well, what about Joe? He doesn't have to denounce Antifa.
Yeah. He's backed by the people who are rioting right now. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yep.
So anyway,
I think at the end of the day, we're going to spend all this time talking about it and overanalyzing it, but I don't think that it's going to. I really, truly don't think. And I guess we'll find out in a couple of days what the poll numbers say, but I just don't see. I think it was a win for Joe Biden in the worst ways that it could have been, and a loss for Donald Trump in the worst ways that it could have been. And I think that on the inverse, Donald Trump, he gave a game away, man. He gave it away in the not the last second, all 4 quarters. He just gave it away.
Yeah.
I think he just gave it away. And I'm not even like, I'm saying this as if like, man, I'm so disappointed. But I'm just like, I don't know, man. It just seems like such an easy thing. It's like to have a strategy of being that aggressive. Like Chris Christie even said it. I don't know if you watched the post show.
No.
Chris Christie was on there and
I was 2 whiskeys in at that point.
Even he was like, because remember, he was part of the prep team.
Right.
Even he was like, yeah, I mean, the strategy was to be aggressive, but not that aggressive. He was like, he came in too hot. He came in too hot.
Wow.
It was too hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, that's an understatement, my guy.
Yeah.
He fucking... We can leave it at this. He was trying to make fun of one of Joe Biden's kids. Joe Biden starts talking about Bo. And, I mean... If this isn't enough for you to go, if you still support Donald Trump for his politics, I don't know. But Donald Trump as a person, as a human being, if you can hear what he said about his kids and still be like, hey, there's a decent guy underneath. I just don't know what to say to you anymore.
No.
When he's talking about Bo, he's telling him, my kid is not a loser. He's not a patsy for, and he's like, I don't know that kid. I'm talking about your fucking crackhead son. I'm not talking about. It's like
I don't know Bo. I don't know Bo.
I don't know. And it's like, how many people? That was really a moment that you watch and you just go, man, he's a really disgusting person.
Yeah.
To act like that, to not. I mean, even that is a gimme moment. That's another softball where you go, all due respect to your son. He paid his dues. He served this country. I would never say anything to denigrate the legacy that your child left behind, whether or not I agree with your politics or side with you, Joe, you big dummy. Fuck you. But your kid, he's a good man. That's a gimme, dude. That's
Sure.
that's a softball fucking
Yeah.
lob to the basket.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't do that.
Well, and the fact that he, for his other son, his name escapes me,
Hunter.
but Hunter Biden, right? The fact that it was even a conversation piece that he is a recovered drug addict. Like the fact that is supposed to be a win for Trump somehow is absolutely ridiculous and disgusting.
Yeah, like it has anything to do with anything.
Really. Right. Like you can talk all you want about him allegedly taking millions of dollars from Russia.
Yeah.
Talk about that all you want, but the fact that you're digging so deep that you're getting to somebody's addiction issues as part of a presidential debate, you're a disgusting human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, you know what's not disgusting?
What?
Beer.
Hey.
Oh, you.
Oh, you. Oh, you.
All right.
Let's review these.
This was from Tactical Brewing Co. Pfefe Hefe, which just so you guys know, is spelled Pfefe.
Pfefe.
Hefe.
Hefe.
It's 5.1% German style Hefeweizen.
I thought it was good. I thought it was a really solid Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
I think they, the thing about, these breweries, when they get their hands in, these multiple styles of beer, it's like, which one are you going to be really, really good at? And which are the ones that are going to suffer?
Yeah.
And right now, I think they're pretty solid across the board so far. The Hefeweizen, I'd give it a 4.5.
Nice. Yeah, I tend to agree with pretty much everything you said. For me, this Hefeweizen's a little bit on the light side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to one with a little bit more of a malty kick. All that being said, yeah, I still agree with you. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. I'm going to give it a 4. But still very tasty.
Respect, man. Respect.
Next up on the docket, we have another from Tactical Brewing Co. It is the Phase 1.5, which is a 6.8% hazy IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Centennial hops.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell me to do it.
Do it, baby. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Hazy days, baby. Those hazy IPAs.
Oof.
And these cups. Man. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me put that right in front of the camera. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This is on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had to fucking search for it all over the place, and I think because of Halloween Horror Nights doing this, it generated a lot of interest in the movie.
Yeah.
Because there's no other reason to have a cult film like this on Netflix.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's on there, so I'm probably going to watch it again.
There we go.
Oh, let me go back.
It's a hoppy boy.
Yes, it is. But speaking of this god-awful place that we live... we took all these precautions, or we've been taking precautions, and then one day, our dear Governor DeSantis, our dear leader DeSantis, just woke up one day and was like, "I'm done with this shit.
It's time. Let's go."
So he holds a press conference and he's like, "Hey, look. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore.
You guys are tired of this, right?
You're tired? I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I know that I want to go back to my bars.
Yeah.
You guys want to open your bars back up? Today's the day. Effective immediately. Phase 3. And so now bars and restaurants are back open to 100% to their discretion. And I will say, for the record, there's a lot of places that are like, Governor DeSantis can say what he wants, but you're going to wear a mask when you're in this building.
Yeah, and apparently he didn't coordinate with, cities and more local governments.
No.
So there are a lot of people who don't understand what that means and are just walking around without masks on, not social distancing, calling mayor's offices and stuff saying, hey, the governor says that, we can open up 100%. So
the way that I interpreted what he said and the way that I guess most people, I don't, to me, I mean, it is confusing. And if I was like a local mayor, I would be like, what the fuck, man? But the way that I interpreted it was that, it's up to local and private companies and authorities to say how we're gonna handle this mask thing. But from at a state level, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, no,
because he stopped local authorities from enforcing any fines
for not wearing masks.
Yeah,
social distancing.
Basically, if you walk into a bar and they're like, you have to wear a mask, and you tell them to go fuck themselves, they can kick you out because it's private property.
Right.
But you can't catch anything for the mask portion of it.
Yeah. They can't call the cops and say, hey, this person's not wearing a mask.
Yeah. They could say, hey, we decided we want him out and he didn't leave. You can catch a charge for trespassing.
Sure.
And I think that's the idiots are going to say, look, I don't have to wear a mask. Governor DeSantis said I don't have to wear a mask on. And it's like, look, man, you can do whatever you want.
I will sue you.
But if you step your foot into this bar that I pay for without wearing a mask,
you're gonna wear a mask.
You're gonna wear a mask, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's and here's the thing. There's a lot of people who think that people just want to walk around with masks on because we like it. Like we're having fun with this shit,
Right.
And I was talking to my dad about it, and it's just like, I want things to go. Everyone wants everything to go back to normal. I want bars open. I don't want anyone losing their business, especially the bars and the breweries around here. We have a great local scene, and there's a lot of great people who run those places.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see them lose their businesses. That's the last thing that I want.
Yeah.
But I also don't want more people dead unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, does that make me the weirdo, the bad guy here who doesn't want people to die?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just, and I get that the argument is, well, people aren't dying anymore. Like the survival rate is in the high 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we're still recording cases every day, thousands and thousands of cases every day across this country.
Especially in Florida.
Yeah. And, you're right. People aren't dying from it as much as they were before. Like, the number of deaths has gone down.
But do you not think that's attributed to the fact that we're wearing masks and washing hands and social distancing?
1,000%.
Right.
And that's exactly the point. It's like, that shit didn't happen by accident.
Yeah.
It's because of the steps that we took that those numbers are going down. Don't you understand that Corona didn't just wake up one day and decide it was done,
25% effectiveness today. That's what we're going to do.
Right. So it's like, I mean, honestly, dog, over in Asian countries,
mm-hmm.
they still walk around with masks all the time.
Yeah.
SARS, the air quality, things like that. I don't know how prevalent SARS still is, but it was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sound ignorant, but it was a problem. I don't know if it's a huge problem anymore.
Well,
but they still wear masks.
Yeah. In a lot of Asian countries, it's not a social faux pas to wear a mask.
Right.
So, I think that also led to them being more equipped and more apt at just everyone putting on a mask and everyone social distancing just because it was more of a cultural norm already.
Yeah.
And that led to them recovering way faster than the United States.
But see, that's the thing, though, dog. That's where, and I hate to bring it back to this guy, but the president, you know what difference he could have made if he had just worn a mask earlier and been one of the guys who's like, hey, look, he could have even been a dickhead about it and been like, the science is out. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But what we do know is masks help.
Yeah.
Wear a mask. That's all he had to do.
At very least, it won't hurt wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Even in the debates, they were kind of going back and forth about this. The science went back and forth about mask usage, right? At one point, they were saying, don't wear masks because, we need them essentially for other people. So don't go buy all the masks.
Yeah.
Like you did the toilet paper, you idiots.
Right.
We don't know how effective they are. We don't know if it's airborne, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
At a certain point, the science was in, and it was that masks, at the very least, help.
Yeah.
At the very least, help. I'm not saying it's 100% effective, but they actually, I should say, at very least, they don't hurt.
Yeah.
At the absolute very least, they don't hurt.
Yeah.
So at that point, Trump could have changed his tune and said, if you can get a mask, wear a mask.
Yeah.
Social distance, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Take this thing seriously. We'll fight it, and we'll be back stronger than ever.
Yep.
We'll do everything we can to get back our economy as quickly as possible.
Yep.
But instead, it'll probably disappear in a few weeks.
Yeah.
It's fine. We'll have, even today, we'll have a vaccine, by November.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, there was no spinning positivity in the debates with the coronavirus. That chunk of time.
Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump he was a mess. He just had no answers.
It would have been 2 million deaths, Marco, if Biden was in charge.
If it was you wouldn't have done nothing.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that is not a good defense.
No.
Yeah, my shit sucked, but if you were in charge, you would have sucked even more.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, man, but you're the guy, and people died. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was plenty of opportunities to jump on it before. Who knows if we could have saved lives? We don't know.
Yeah.
The experts say that we probably could have.
Right.
But
and now we're in today, and in the state of Florida, it's kind of whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Except for in private property areas, which, I've seen a lot of our local bars, breweries saying, hey, a reminder, you still need to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Pretty much almost all of them.
Yeah.
Were like, Governor DeSantis can, we heard, but you're still wearing a mask.
But still. Now, that's all well and good, but there are some places that are like, okay, free reign, baby.
Yeah.
Because I saw a video at the beach of, it was like a beachside bar.
Oh, those beachside bars never gave a fuck, bro.
And it was shoulder to shoulder with a live band, people singing into each other's faces.
Just singing in each other's mouths.
Yeah, yeah.
Open up. I gotta sing this tune.
It was a cover of Seven Nation Army with a dance beat. Yeah, this is real bad.
You just want to make it worse.
It's real bad. But that, okay, so this, reopening of Florida.
Wow, live band was doing a dance remix.
It was
of Seven Nation Army.
It was a boots and pants drum pattern. I retweeted it. If anyone follows me on Twitter,
I'm gonna look at it.
You can check it out at your own discretion.
Okay.
But I say that to say, sure, most places will still observe a lot of the precautions, but my fear is that as a collective, we're now all more at risk because there are some people in some places who now will not observe any precautions against coronavirus and go food shopping around us, or I don't know, just be in the same areas as we are, as we're being safe.
Yeah.
And put us at higher risk.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know what to contribute to that. That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
And the issue with just springing this phase on the state, other than that, is like, well, now you've cut the knees of these local officials too.
Yeah.
So like, not only is it just kind of pandemonium, but it's like the local law enforcement are like, well, I mean, there's nothing, we can't do anything.
Right. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, man. For him to be this basically, mini Trump when it comes to the law and order.
Right. We won't
really.
let's not even get into his entire thing about trying to punch down on protests.
Oh yeah.
That's its own can of worms. I don't really want to get into.
No. The point that I'm just making is that, like, the irony of being the guy who is like, we need more resources to law enforcement, and then to turn around and be like, well, fuck them. This is what I'm gonna do, and you guys are just gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
It's
because it doesn't go along with his agenda, which isn't even his agenda. It's Trump's agenda.
Well, this idea that like, we're looking at the same numbers, man. Like this idea that we're good, dude. We can open up to phase 3. Like, I'm telling you, trust me. Like, why would I trust you? I can just look at the numbers. I don't even need to listen to you about this.
The thing that I don't appreciate about his approach, because I would have given him more of a chance, because to be honest with you, early on in his what do you call it, like his time, I guess. I don't know. It's not a course. It's not a
term.
His term. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
In his term, like early on in his term, I was hopeful because he made some good choices. But since then, it's been like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
But the thing that really rubbed me the wrong way was he came across, or he tried to come across as coming at this with science.
Yeah.
He had this press conference that said, I'm going to have the top scientists on this explain why, we're in a better shape now, and what we can do, and yada yada yada. It was just like a rally, essentially. He found the few people who agreed with reopening Florida and decided to have them speak.
Yeah.
Some of which I've read up actually aren't experts in viruses at all. So they're just scientists from these well-respected universities who are on, like, they're the 10th dentist who doesn't agree that the fluoride works,
Yeah.
So the fact that he tried to, like, smokescreen people into thinking that this decision was made based on science when the vast majority of science disagrees with those 4 people he had on that panel, really rubs me the wrong way, because it's not only, like, objectively the wrong thing to do, it's politicizing your public's health.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't jive with your agenda. That should be off limits, people living and dying, or even suffering, like, I don't know.
And it's an insult to our intelligence.
Yeah.
To say, look, I got the science on this, and I got it from these people, so just trust me. And then all you have to do is a little bit of Googling to find out that, no, you didn't. You're full of shit.
Yeah.
And you're basing it around science, and it's like, what science? You think that we're dumb enough to just take you at your word on this?
Yeah. Well, it's just not the scientific what the scientific collective says about this subject.
The consensus.
The consensus of the subject is going against what those 4 people are saying.
Yeah.
And you just cherry pick them because it goes with what you're trying to do. And again, I understand the need to get back to work, but we've talked about this before. The only way to do that long term is to beat the virus.
Well, in the spirit of beating the virus, the theme parks are open back up.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody can go, and they can have all the fun that they want.
Yeah. They've actually been reopened for a long time.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Those creepy ass commercials where they're like, "We want you back.
Welcome back.
We're family.
Everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah, we're sanitizing everything." I love that the the advertisements for some of these things to like, hey, look, man, we're back open. We're keeping shit clean. We're sanitizing. We're social distancing. It's like we should have been doing all of that shit from the jump.
Yeah. Anyway,
Like, it's so disgusting to me that they're like, we're finally gonna sanitize these things.
we clean the bathrooms.
When they finally cleaned that one train in New York, where they're like, yeah, we haven't actually deep cleaned that train in 20 years. They're like 2 decades of shit and piss and crack. And they're like, well, now we should probably, we got time.
Probably do something about this, yeah. While they're empty, you know.
Yeah, man. You're not getting points for doing the bare minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you points for sanitizing things that 1 million people touch a day.
Yeah.
So they're back open, and, you know, in the spirit of the spooky season, Islands of Adventure, or Universal Studios.
Are you sure?
If you're a Florida resident, if you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of spooky season, you understand how much Halloween Horror Nights means to us.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have to go a year where some years we don't go, you know, you
speak for yourself.
Well, no, I was just about to say, you don't miss. You don't miss. Some years I haven't hit it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's tradition.
Yeah.
At least the past 10 years.
I've only missed 1 year in the past 10 years.
Well, now it's going to be 2. Suck it. I will say that in the past decade, I've probably missed 3. Mm-hmm. So it's still a decent track record.
Yeah. We
love it.
It's, I mean, for me, one of the main perks of living in Florida.
Yeah. And we've had, multiple episodes of this podcast about it.
Yes.
Dedicated solely to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it should be no surprise that it was a fucking bummer to find out that, like, not only is this all still going on, but in the midst of this, like, it was just going to be impossible to have Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
It
makes no sense for them to have it.
Yeah. When you think about, when they were like, yeah, we officially have to shut it down. It was like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. But then you think like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
of course.
Even when you're getting your ticket, you're shoulder to shoulder with people.
Oh yeah.
You can't even get in without bumping into 1,000 strangers.
It's nearly always like concert venue style.
Yeah. Which kind of begs the question, I mean, unless something drastic changes in the next like 6 months, how are they even going to do it next year?
I have some ideas and theories on that we can get into.
Okay. Well, let's get into those. But before we get into those, they are at least trying.
Yeah.
Right? So they started construction on 2 of the original IPs that they had for this year's event. And they were like, fuck it. These are pretty much built. Let's at least give people something.
Yeah.
Right? And so, in the spirit of that, they opened up 2 of the houses, and I don't remember the themes.
One of them is the Tooth Fairy,
and
then the other one is the Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what they're gonna do is like kind of like a socially distanced way of going through the house.
They're actually currently doing it. It's going on right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So apparently what they have done is obviously the lines are socially distanced. They have those markers that you wait in. Also, I think that it may be one of those that you get like a time to go.
Yeah.
You know, like they sometimes do the fast passes that way, where you have a scheduled time to go on the ride.
Smart.
So I think that's what they're doing with those. I could be mistaken though. But apparently the houses themselves, what they've done is all of the scare actors have, protective masks on underneath their makeup and masks. And so a lot of the times in the past, they've had makeup prosthetics and stuff like that. But it seems like this year what they're doing is actually having pull on plastic full masks or rubber masks.
And then wearing masks.
And then wearing masks underneath those as they're performing. An extra step on top of that is it seems like wherever the scare actors are jumping out of, there's actually like a clear plastic shield in front of it. So, some people are saying, well, that kind of takes some of the scare out of it.
Because you know where it's coming from.
Because you know where it's coming from. But at the same time, like, it's kind of, it's still nice to just even have that experience.
Yeah.
At this point,
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
This is what they should be doing. Even when everything returns to normal.
Yeah.
This is what they should be doing. The houses, you should be going through the houses in groups.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone shuffle through.
Right.
Bro, the times that I got scared the most were when it was
you don't see the group
perfectly.
In front of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when those like 4 or 5 people in front of you have gone on and you're now
it's
going,
just dark.
Oh, fuck.
It's just dark and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the scariest time.
Yep.
So if they make it so that, and I know that it probably logistically it would make the lines like it would double the amount of time you were waiting in line.
Right. Which is already super long.
So long.
Yeah.
And I think that would obviously have to go into trying to figure out how to do this going forward. But I truly believe that you should go in chunks.
Yeah.
Not just let people shuffle through.
Yeah, and that's how they've been doing it. Apparently, they've been testing out a method where your group has like a glow stick.
Uh-huh.
And they give every group a glow stick. So they know how it's being pulsed through the house.
Oh. That's
so
good. That's good. That's so good.
They'll stop you right in front of the entrance of the house, wait for that group to get through to, I guess, a certain checkpoint through the thing, and then go, okay, you go.
Yeah.
And then keep it going that way.
I love it.
So whether you're a single person or you're a group of 5.
Yeah, whether you're a lonely freak.
Right, going through the haunted house by yourself. Who would do that?
What kind of psycho?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like an interesting idea. Now, something I think that could help is what they're doing now, because obviously, it's not its own event anymore for this year. It's not like, they kick everybody out at 6:00 and they reopen and it's horror nights. It's going on throughout the entire day.
Yeah, it's just another thing you can do while
right.
you're out there.
It's just another attraction, basically. Now, that may cut down on the lines because you're not given just that window of time at the end of the day. And they have expanded their hours a bit just to accommodate people who want to come just for the houses.
Yeah, and I think that going forward, that's another thing that would be smart to do, to expand the hours, make it so that people can just kind of go whenever they want instead of... But it doesn't bring you in as much as as shutting the whole thing down and going, all right, it's time to get scared.
It's spooky time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just... It ties the whole thing together.
Yeah.
But anything to get this fucking train moving, I'm down for.
Yeah. And they've added some of their the food staples that everybody comes to Horror Nights for too.
Right.
I think they have some drinks and stuff and merch and all that fun stuff.
Nice.
But what I was kind of hinting at was my idea for what they could do for next year, which is what they're doing right now with the houses where, all those protective measures are happening. But as far as bringing down crowd sizes is to, instead of making it a classic event where they shut down the entire park and reopen, just making it a full day thing that you can go to this part of the park and this is the spooky area. Yeah. And that leads to the option of them doing a year-round haunt. That, I mean, it will take some of the wind out of the sails of like, this is the event. Yeah. But I think it will also help, just make people feel a little better in these times where we're not able to have a full Halloween Horror Nights in October and November. I
mean, even if they extended it into September, mid-September, you start.
They had already started doing that.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So, but you're right. I'm just trying to think of ways that they can have that kind of pulsing and not have those giant crowds of people all at once. Maybe it's making smaller houses, but multiples of them, smaller experiences that are quicker to get in and out of.
Yeah.
Um,
Making it really tapping into this scheduled idea, like not just you buy a ticket for said day, but said hours too.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
it's
you,
like
you
buying
can
a
hit
concert
these,
ticket or something. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
So like you need to hit these houses between 6 and so and so, or you don't get to go in.
Mm-hmm.
That would be smart. So you can space out the crowds and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is it just brings in so many people.
Yeah.
It is just so many people that it's hard. I don't envy the job of having to try to organize that whole thing.
Figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they split it up between the two parks. Maybe you have 2 houses in Onza Adventure, 2 houses in Universal.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, they've done that before.
they have. Yeah, they've done that. But I think maybe that'll help divide the amount of crowd.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because apparently Busch Gardens is still doing their event.
Hallow Scream.
Hallow Scream, they're doing that. I think right now, actually. I think that's already started.
Just no restrictions, just doing it.
No. What they've decided to do is, instead of having houses to go through, they're only doing scare zones.
Oh.
So it's all out in the open. But there are 2 scare zones that are basically outdoor houses, and they're doing that pulse method too, where they space you out. I mean, mind you, that still leads to a lot of crowds. There's still a lot of people there, but I mean, I watched a YouTube video of them like going through the experiences, and it seems like it's working out.
Yeah.
So far. So I know that Horror Nights is a bigger event than Hallow Scream.
Yeah, fuck you, Hallow Scream.
But
Oh, Town for life.
at that same token, I feel like maybe they can use that as inspiration. I don't think that a Scare Zone only Horror Nights event would be super attractive to me.
Yeah.
But if they do it in a way that's like the houses are outside and they pulse people through, that may be something I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious, the way things are today, would you be interested in going to Universal to check out those 2 houses? Would you feel safe? Would you be invested enough to give it a shot, given the current restrictions?
So, I think, okay, for me personally, it's a more difficult question because I don't really do roller coasters. I'm not afraid of them.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of them.
Sure. It is
Okay.
at Universal Studios, though, and not Onza Adventure, which has way more roller coasters.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. As long as like paying how much it costs to get into a theme park around here is an exuberant amount of money. If you're only going for, say, like if you went to Islands of Adventure and you were like, I'm only gonna ride the Hulk roller coaster and then I'm gonna go home. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's such a terrible investment of
Yeah.
your money.
Yeah.
So to go and to just take in those 2 houses and then dip is insane. I wouldn't do that. If there was enough incentive to just spend a day at the park and have a good time, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sounds like they're taking all of the necessary precautions, and I do appreciate that. So I'm not completely out on it. I would just hate to show up and then there'd just be like thousands of people there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, I went on the wrong day. Now
Yeah.
there's so many people. I'm just going to be all day just because.
Just feel like you're breathing in toxic air the entire time.
Yeah. So, yes, there's a chance. I'm saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
That's a tough call, brother. Because I really want to go. But I've been extra careful for my mother because she has lupus, and I have an elderly grandma. So, I've been trying to be extra careful just in case. Now,
Wait. You have an elderly grandma?
I do. Not a young one. But yeah, I've been really trying to be as strict as I can while still living.
Yeah.
But it's been tough, and this is something that I have a lot of passion for. I really want to go, but I'm stuck in between this thing of like, you want to go, but if you go, will you feel okay going?
Right. Are you going to be concerned with it the entire time?
Right, exactly. And if that's the case, then it's not worth going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to be running it for a little while, and I may consider going during like a weekday.
Yeah.
Just
pick like a really weird day.
Like a Tuesday or something,
Yeah.
Like take the day off, just go on a Tuesday. And, if it's too crowded, then, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
If I need to. But I really want to is my answer. I really want to because, again, it's something that I look forward to every single year. And, the way this year is going, I'm not going to have much of a birthday, and I don't have a whole lot to look forward to as far as that stuff goes. So I feel like this could be a thing.
And not only that, but it would be interesting to look back on and say, yeah, I experienced that weird year.
Yeah, I was there in the weird year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'll keep you in the loop if I decide on going, but
All right.
I'm a solid maybe.
We can make a thing of it.
Okay.
If we decide like let's pull the trigger on this.
Yeah.
And see what that life like.
Yeah. Now there are a few drive-through haunts that I've seen. I actually watched a drive-through of one of the haunts locally. There's one about 45 minutes away.
And it wasn't insane that you're driving through something and you're supposed to be scared.
I mean, it's not Horror Nights. I'll tell you that much from the looks of it. It's like super cheap, but still endearing and kind of like cute,
Yeah.
like it's a little spooky here and there, but like, I don't know. It just seems like a fun thing to do anyway.
Keep your windows open.
Yeah.
So we can reach in.
I mean, basically, they don't get that close to you though.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one by like a airboat ride company. They apparently just took out a plot of land and have you drive through there.
Okay.
But I mean, it looks, it's neat. It reminds me a lot of like, that cool dad in the neighborhood that would make a little haunted house that you
Yeah.
walk through as you're trick or treating. So yeah, I mean that may be an option for us too if you just want to go on a random spooky weekend.
Yeah.
Just to do something, because I don't know. I feel like we have to get as much as we can out of this year because it ain't giving us anything.
No.
So,
By God, it's not.
yeah. So,
All right. Well, we'll look more into that,
yes.
and we'll come back to the table on that one.
Okay.
Let's review these beers.
Let's review the
Let's
beer
review
here.
the beer. Here.
All right.
Good beer.
So we are ending, well, not with that one, with this one. This is the Tactical Brewing Co. Phase 1.5. It's 6.8% hazy IPA with Citra, Mosaic, and Centennial hops.
Boom.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Again, another solid entry. It's definitely hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hoppy. Not afraid of them hops.
Hoppier than a hazy.
Usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not super fruity. It's not super smooth. It wasn't bad at all. I think it was very well balanced. I'm a fan of hoppiness.
That hop.
So if you're not, you may want to steer away from this. You definitely want to steer away from this. I
No,
just
no.
burped and had hops come up. But that being said, it's up my alley. I'll give it a 4.5.
Yeah, I feel like I've given almost all of them a 4.5.
Mhm.
I hate to lean on that number, but everything that we've had from them so far has been just very, very solid.
Yeah.
Not middle of the road, not mediocre, but not like extraordinary, knock your socks off type stuff. Just solid. Just really, like, they're doing a really good job. just making some very solid beers.
Except for the base lager, you gave a 5. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. The base lager was really good.
Yeah.
It had that little sweetness in the back. I like that.
It's nice.
You just spoiled the score for last week's episode.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
Oh.
I should just bleep it.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a 4.5. I mean, they're just. I guess that could be the score for the brewery.
Yeah. Overall brewery score.
Yeah.
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Just I'm happy for them. Wish for more success to Tactical Brewing Co. And like I said last week, we gotta go out there and enjoy more brewskis from them because they're doing a very, very good job. And the more local places to enjoy, the better.
Agreed.
So 4.5 unanimous for both of them. Actually, no. You gave the other one 4.
Correct.
All right. Take a deep breath. This has been the One Baron Podcast. For myself, Marco Dupa. For Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
I love you.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer. Like, share, and subscribe everywhere the podcasts are sold and or listened to. And have a beautiful evening.
Drink local beer.
Drink local. Ugh.